Sometimes inspiration doesn't hit me when I sit down to write these segments, so instead I'll say, any and all support is great on my Patreon, it keeps me doing this, check it out.
おめらここで何してたんだ?
ゾンビだし埋まってたっていうか。
Last video I pointed out a lot of differences between the two groups, and it seems like this one is going to start off in much the same way as Luffy sits down for a nice chat with the zombies.
絶対に言わねえか。
All it took was a crack at the Nux, and right away everyone is on board with spilling the island's secrets.
正直に言えよ。
こいつはどうした?
He turned on his mates so damn quick. How, once it was revealed that they were all involved in attacking those three at one point or another, they all immediately, without even talking to one another, attacked them.
だが油断は禁物だ。どこに何が潜んでるかわからねえからな。
One of the many reasons I really like Zoro is that he says things like this after everyone else is mentioning how weak the zombies were.
大怪我した年寄り。
だからゾンビだっつってんだろ!
Luffy making the exact same mistake as last episode. You'd think it wouldn't be as funny, but it somehow is. And by the way, Oda seems to space out his jokes a lot too, so they're not overused. And then he makes the joke even better by making him just a very injured old man.
知ってんのか?
名前ならよく知ってる。元々の懸賞金でさえあなたを上回る男よ。
Just how in the last video I mentioned the Doctor gave Chopper some tie-in to this place, it's cool how this old man's tale has now done the same for Robin in how she knows the villain.
王家七部会の一人よ。
And you can go right on ahead and help yourself to another win out the door for that little tidbit of detailed goodness. Also, I'm pretty sure the second one isn't someone I've seen before, so another win for the first look at him.
この地に残り暗い森をゾンビを恐れながら這い回る者。
This nicely plays into the loneliness angle brought up by Brock, I think. These poor victims left wandering this island's forests to survive while surrounded by danger entirely alone. Such a nice touch as he knocks the lamp and all of their shadows are seen. About the reaction I thought we'd get from Frankie, to be honest, and it was a very touching story, to be fair.
ああ、ときめかなくて悪かったな。ぐるぐる巻いて。うっせえ、ほっとけ。
That's an amazing little addition to the scene. Purely worried for Nami-related win. Just saying, dude is a genuinely outstanding voice actor producing sounds like that. Going the extra mile by putting the imprint on his clothing where he's being held up. Partly it's for the joke, obviously, but mainly it's for actually getting to see a lot more of what he looks like all over during the scene. Personal win here, but this little guy really reminds me of Teddy from my favourite ever Persona game, Persona 4 Golden. Or just Persona 4, really. Also, though, surprisingly, it's the same voice actor as Hogback, so the dude really is talented. The original voice actress for Ren from the Trails game series.
だいぶ振り出してきたな。
Small thing, but to me it's such a nice touch for Robin to use her bag to block the rain a bit, and Frankie his large forearm.
村を一つ丸ごと乗せた世界一巨大な海賊船なのじゃ。
Holy Dizzle! It's the world's largest ship! That is so sick! Plus, again, they drew it really nicely as well. As the chime gets going once it hits midnight, they showed us a bunch of different places and also people, which I thought was an interesting way to do it.
パンツ見せてもらってもよろしいですか?
I'm so confused! Is that Brock? Certainly sounds like it and also talks like it, but looks totally different. No afro. So confused!
完璧なまでにあいつ。
She's right, but I thought it really worth pointing out how he said it with a different tone in his voice. Brock is much more light and happy-go-lucky sounding. His is darker.
新世界和の国から来た男
Just casually dropping some awesome lore right there about another location.
ボス逃げ場などないぞ
That's gotta be hands down one of the most unique sounding laughs in the entire show.
何切られるかと思った。
びっくりした。何を始める気だ。
I agree with them. It's a twist I didn't see coming. Take a plot twist win for it.
やはず切り
Okay, that really was a good double twist since he had already attacked them.
開いたっていうかお前
Luffy casually smashing his way inside and acting like the door just opened on its own. It's such a Luffy thing to do, to just attempt to go right after the big boss to save as much time as possible, and I absolutely love him for it. It's a new video, but the same impressive degree of animation on these paintings coming to life, I gotta say. He's clearly put off by the reaction of Luffy there.
額縁から出ちゃ台無し。あなたもよ。
I ain't never gonna stop winning Robin when she uses her powers like this.
おめえらあの弱い奴らの仲間なんじゃ Yes!
I also said this once before, at least not for a little while though, that I love seeing enemies so shocked by their strength. Oda always did such a good job of that so far. Just to expand on the last win with an additional one, what I mean is Luffy isn't always facing a more powerful enemy each arc, like these foes. Instead, they're way stronger than them, and it shows. A surprisingly nice and smooth piece of animation for a weekly anime. Given what he's made of, I honestly didn't think that attack would land in a way so pleasing to the eyes, but it really did. Absolutely love it. The entire room knocked out and so quickly too.
あのぐるぐるコックがいねえぞ。
あれさっきまでいたのに。
And my dumbass didn't even notice that. You know he threw the first attack, and I was surprised to not see him do any others during the fight, and now it's revealed that he's missing.
だけど、こんなゾンビ屋敷じゃ、3人の方の救出は一刻を争うかもしれない。
I love her so much. She's always so calm and reasonable and to the point and smart and everything.
俺の仲間の身に何か起きたら、お前をこの島ごと吹き飛ばしてやるってな。
Such a good Luffy moment right there. Let's go.
なんとか言えよ
He's so shocked that they're actually taking him along. Well, safe to say that I did not see that coming. Have another while we're at it for actually coming up with a whole song for this moment, as I'm guessing that this naturally wouldn't have been in the manga, right?
目を覚ませジェネラルゾンビども
I figured there would have to be some more stronger foes facing them here, and I was right. So these are as powerful as fake Brock is. And by the by, the animation on each of their reveals is shockingly well done, because not only is it smooth, but it actually looks really unique as well, with the bottom to top viewing angle. A full-on look at all of these new powerful foes! That's really going next level to try and force a marriage between them. Credit to making this turn into an actual fight instead of a simply comedy type of moment, with them really going after one another for a solid few minutes there. I always think Oda handles situations like this different than most would. I feel others would have definitely had them be given over to the boss without issues, but not here. Also in that same vein, instead of knocking out Chopper and suddenly he's back inside the coffin, he goes huge and takes them out, which is much, much better, I think.
峰打ちだったのか
少し雨が降ったのね。
What's even more interesting, that fake Brock seemed to have gone easy on them, perhaps for appearance's sake when he attacked them earlier?
ゾンビにされるところだったのかも。
Nice little bit of extra animation there that they really didn't have to actually do.
バカね、分かってるわよ。私だって怖いんだから。目がおかしいんだけど。
For me, it's always good to see that this part of the characters hasn't changed massively. In Nami's case, that having heard about Treasure being here, she can't just walk away. It's really good to see them break out of the initial scared feeling when they first got here and instead now begin to fight back. Normally this wouldn't get a win, but for me it was Usopp not even skipping a beat and claiming it was done on purpose that got me. Not running away from dangerous zombie animals on the spot. I was waiting so long for him to actually draw and use his damn weapon that when he did, I got so excited I felt it was worth a win. Okay, color me extremely shocked that he stopped it from attacking her. Like, what the hell?
たとえご主人様の命令に背いても俺は死んでもこんなわけなん。
Don't go, Sanji! The ending can have another there because it's revealed that now Zoro is missing and not in the normal he's gone in the wrong direction kind of way either. Damn, man! I'm guessing this means Luffy is now gone as well?
処刑されてないといいんだけど。
縁起悪いこと言う暇があったらどうやって助けるか考えろ。
This really is a big part of what makes Robin Robin. It's her darker personality.
ゾロもサンジもあったくよ。
こんな時に何やってんだてめえは。
That's actually a legit amazing plot twist. Everything was set up for Luffy to have also disappeared. Turns out he's just snuck into some armor for lols.
くそロマンもっともだ。
For context, Luffy said, "Hey, it's every man's dream to don a set of armor." And I love how quickly Frankie was won over.
なんだここは。
まるで闘技場みてえだ。
Glad there are some mysterious things happening this arc outside of the zombies and stuff. Again, when it happens, it really needs a win, and here we go. It's a weekly anime, and yet we're given some nice animation like this outside of the norm. Two wins here. Firstly, we're rather impressively given, after the last win no less, some tasty animation in the form of a fight. But also it's equally awesome to see Frankie going toe-to-toe like this due to the specific makeup of his body. He's such a great addition to the crew, I swear. Literally take another just for that attack alone. It's also, thinking about it, the first proper Frankie fight outside of the prior saga.
No.
Ah, they really had me going for a moment there. I thought Frankie was taken down for the count, and then my boy comes back like this and even better, says those words. I tell ya, someone worked really hard this episode on the animation and it absolutely shows.
そんな奴らが不死身になったと思いお前らなんかが勝てるわけがねえんだよ
Ah, I see. So this is one of those really powerful dudes that was woken up earlier. Now it makes more sense. There's different types of zombies for everything. And now this is even better, because these are all of the most powerful foes in one area. In fact, they can have max wins for doing it so soon. Plus, such a big crowd shown too. Highly detailed, no less.
こりゃさすがに手強すぎるぞ。
鎧だらけだ。
Frankie and Luffy being on totally different pages here.
例年に手出すやつは容赦しねえ
To his credit, this wasn't something done for short-term comedy use, but instead he's really fighting for her. Actually, whilst I'm at it, have another for Lola trying to take out Nami and the invisible cat dude trying to stop her. As I often say, having the bad guys have situations like this is interesting.
戦い方まさか
Oh! No friggin' way! It's that Sanji! If that turns out to be the case, it's grabbing max wins, but for now, take one very confused and thinking I'm on the right track win.
クソゾンビども
あの犬ペンギン間違いないわ
Yep, you can hear it in his voice. So he also changed his tone for the character too, which is amazing, and yeah, I'm blown away by that. Max wins, please!
さて、どんな財宝を持っているか楽しみだ。
It's genuinely really annoying, in spite of being a new ship, that these people are walking onto it unchecked. Ugh! It is seriously rare and thus rather unsettling to see something like this happen to Zoro. That's just a plain old-fashioned great piece of animation goodness. I'm telling ya, someone or some people really worked hard on this episode. Look at that! Another quick 2 wins. Firstly, this attack by Luffy looking good. Secondly, I forgot to say it before, but I'm counting this as a rare change of clothing for Luffy as well. I love that move. It's totally getting another one for her. Oda actually created something interesting here in that it's an enemy that, whilst not massively powerful, it can take tons of damage and still keep on getting back up time and again.
36ポンドホー
And sadly and interestingly, in Zoro's case, he has clearly been reborn as something that has to attack his crew. I wonder if with Sanji, it was just deeply embedded in him not to attack a woman.
背中の傷は剣士の恥だ
Now I'm getting the feeling that I know exactly what happened to Brock earlier on too. As it looks like Luffy was now also taken away, I wanted to win Frankie for proving himself to be a really powerful member of the crew in that he's still fighting even now.
Frankie! 捕まって
She is, in a word, amazing. And beautiful too.
バケツ用意
I was just thinking to myself, I hope he does his fire attack finally, and then he did it, and I was so shocked that they have a method against that. Robin proving that she has moves for even very close quarters combat.
小僧ニコラビン何やってんだよおいあのバカ捕まりやがったのか
These two both responding to the change in circumstances so quickly and heading right off after what they very much believe is logically a now captured Luffy.
巷で噂のスパイダーモンキーとは俺のことだ
Really impressive animation done on him with it being so giant and all.
どうするかはお前たちも身をもって体験できる
2 wins again, firstly for creating quite the JoJo situation here with enemies both in front and behind them.
どうするかはお前たちも身をもって体験できる前方には俺後方には鎧の戦士たちだ
But also for Oda being very clever and managing to further split up the crew into even smaller groups or individuals.
やっぱりあの犬ペンギン言ってることがバカみたいでほぼサンジ君本当だ
Nami being quite brutal with her statement there about poor old Sanji. She calls it nonsense, he calls it love, but I also do totally get her point of view as well, in fairness.
やっぱ俺たちには敵なのか
I forgot to mention how Chopper is the cutest thing ever, and then he fell to the ground and the voice actress pulled out that amazing performance.
待てローラ
おりゃ
It keeps getting better and better, as potentially zombie Sanji will be forced to fight Lola to protect Nami, plus the others are still attacking, and of course Invisidude is there too. It was full fully 100% expected, but it was still a badass moment from him all the same. And then, of course, therein lies the problem. Sanji likely won't attack her now. Damn, man! So stupid. But them thinking she was simply flying away. I found Nami really impressive there, both in how she defended herself, but also talked about herself, in such a way of saying, I haven't been doing everything for you all my life. Equally impressive was the rolling animation after she was blasted away too. Lots of extra animation! Oh yeah, definitely a win for that. It means there's a hierarchy among the zombies' ranks, and he right now cannot issue those lot commands. That's a cool twist. At the same time, that can have one too, because it comes across like potentially he may also help Nami if she is in direct trouble. It creates a really interesting dynamic, this arc. It's Zombie Sanji versus Invisidude! Wow, the dude is strong on top of everything else. Just a guess, but I wonder if he is making a weapon invisible here and using that or something. Interesting. I really love Nami so much. Just prior, Usopp said it seems like everyone is after you and then comes up with the new plan, and I don't know, I just really enjoyed her seeing through it right away. Oh my goodness, the way she delivered that line was pure gold! In spite of being very happy to be alive, they do right away worry about Nami again. Not only do they impressively catch up to them, but they also jump Lola in order for Nami to get away, which says a lot more about them than the previous joke from 4 wins ago. We pretty much knew that this was the case, but I'm glad it was said out loud, as a way by which they were able to set traps for them along the way and take Sanji and Zoro easier. I'd feel bad for not winning a joke that made me legit laugh because it's so stupid, but Robin said, are your large ears also used for gathering intel? And then this happened. Sometimes I feel so dumb. I've been watching anime for years and years, and these situations that I call JoJo ones, I never think of a way out. And then Oda writes this. What a legend! Oh my goodness, not only is she something else all the time, but her ability really is as well. And she's never used this before. She saved Frankie from the fall. I'm giving this 2 single wins. First of all, you gotta appreciate Frankie returning the favour right afterwards. But also Robin doing this. She's so bloody graceful all the time, even in a not so nice way like this, but still. I am so confused. So the samurai is not Brock, this is Brock. I really don't understand what is going on. What a killer end to the episode. Great twist that he's suddenly back. So good. It's a small thing, but showing them leaping back into the game after being thrown aside was sick. Nami being super smart and thinking on her feet as always.
Oi, oi.
I'll never get over how gullible Chopper is, but credit to Usopp for seeing through the ruse with no issues.
私応援したいと思ってたの。本当？本当よ。冗談じゃないわよ。私はナミゾウ。ナミって呼んで。
Going back to an earlier win, again, this is an interesting twist that really serves to mix things up between the groups. I can't wait to see how it plays out.
だからね、意識があるからハンコをしてくれないわけよ。そういうことは相手が寝てる間。
Why do I feel as though Nami is giving legit advice and not just doing it as a bit for her?
ナミは男だったのか。道理で男らしいと思ったんだ。
Chopper still doesn't get it. But how dare he think that about Nami? Getting pretty much the first proper look at the main antagonist of this arc.
呆れたな。2隻合わせてほぼ収穫なしとは。
Pains me to see these freaks taking all of our stuff. Also makes me wonder how they're going to get by if all the food ends up being taken. But that's for the future.
お前か。モリアのバカってのは。
Luffy and his way of truly not caring.
まっすぐこっちに向かってる。こっちだ。
Adore little added moments like this where Nami pulls Chopper away from the stairs and then runs off holding him as well.
喋んじゃねえかまし。何度言わせりゃわかんだ。
I wonder if Oda had planned for her to not want him to speak in preparation for this moment, where now he's unable to say that he thinks they snuck inside of his suit. Very clever.
しょうがねえな。助けに行くか。
Says a lot about Frankie that right away he mentions that they need to go and help Brock.
おめえ、少し間をつないでろ。
どうする気？
Oh snap, I get to finally see what was inside of that can all that time. Fun fact, I thought it was a rocket launcher or something all this time.
セイスフルールスラップ。
目になんか触った。
She's so creative in how she quickly thinks of a method to attack someone from far away.
ヘビーヌンチャク。
How come Frankie is so creative and just the best though? Is it just me or does this now seem like it's causing proper damage for a change?
ウェポンズエクション。
Just after he got done saying how screwed Frankie was now that he had webbed his new weapon away from him, and little does he know that my boy is basically a walking weapon. This web scene and purely for science purposes only. And now we're back to a new JoJo situation that I cannot think of a way out of because it hurts my head. Not just telling us that they took Sanji and Zoro, but actually showing fully animated scenes of it happening. Dude, Cho is actually a legit lovely singer with this Brock song of his.
いやはや皆さん、この島に入ってきてしまいましたか。
I'm so happy to see him and strangely enough, hear from him again. There's something about that voice that I just love so much, it's unreal.
大丈夫です。もう勝負はついてますから。
It's so weird. He filled me with sheer confidence when he told a worried Frankie in the most calming voice ever, "Don't worry, the fight is already over." Like, goodness me!
やはつぎ。
Oh my god, when did he even do this attack? Don't even care. Take one more for the end of the episode. I legit cannot wait to wrap Hell's Paradise and then hop back into the next 6 episodes of One Piece. See you next time. Darth Weirdo, Fiji, Mal Liao, Mushwin, Nick Wyndham, The Elementator Wars, Christopher Willis, Emmanuel Gonzalez, Fancy Turtle, Kepan, Minimasher, Marquez, Nozomi, Allkeeper, Order Botanisi, Steelers, The Epic Commander, Bird Without a Word, Brendan Greer, Brian Bayard, Cameron, Christopher Tarasa, Commander Cyrus, David Freriks, Devicool, Doggos for Life, Dragonstorm 35, Guru, James Defoyer, Yor Edvinson, Kevin Alston, Cumfroig, Miura Night Sky, Mr.Mansu, Nightly Winter, Peter Milligan, Robert Jackson, Ruby Rose, Sataki Ari, Zions 44, Sean, Starkip, Tiger Lily Warrior, Alexander Schwartz, Ali 50, Amadillo, Anador, Brainless Ben, Cecilia, Cedric, Cloud Garden, Dante Sol, Danny's Face, Doug Bloody Soul, Donald Newborn, Dragon Defender, Dragon Boy 1, Drake's Daughter, Iso, Francie, FuriousMoe, Garrett Vermeesh, Henrik Jessen, Host Losritter, Israel Caldera, Joe Crims, Jason Davies, John, Jaffa6263, Kai Wolfspring, Kelnock, Kevin Nelter, Kevin 102, Knuckle Duster, Kody Niemeier, Kai158, Carl Jones, Laxor, Laxus, Liam Gagati, Lifty, Lionel Schultz, Luis Minito, Marvin, Mason Stelfer, Matthew Blancet, Michael Lewis, Mihran Ardjian, Modavirum, Mr. Firecool, Nathaniel Gigremosa, Natsu Dragneel, Nick Monaco, Nick Pell, Nuvagown 1928, Oliver Smiley Reacts, OliveWharf, Onyx Calif, Oscar I. Lopez, Owen Halloran, Porgy, That's a Fish, Q-Flash, Chris Harris, Rimuru, Rodies, Roll Tide Wes, Ryan DeViri, Sadaholic, Sakomi Arorim, Sarcastic Truth, Shadow Cleanser, Snowy, Stan, Storm 970, TRS, The Danish Muggle, Thrasher 340, Tomo Sandy, Vernon Hogan, Wacky Normal, Will Sass, Willyman.